How's it going, everyone? Welcome to Let's Talk Football Week 4. And I don't know about you guys, but it was a hell of a week. Hell of a week.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Rough for my boys, but it's all good.
Well, no, it's. I don't know what you're talking about. It was a great week. Only ups from here. Only
you
the
finally
sun
get a
is
W.
shining.
All right, you finally get your W. Get out of here.
No, listen, we're not spoiling anything yet, okay? We're not spoiling anything yet. So before we get started, everybody, please give this a like, a share. Get it out to your family, your friends, your enemies. It doesn't matter. Get it out to the world. Because we're going to unfold an amazing week.
Yes.
So
let's go.
Get it.
So I guess ladies first, Nicole. We should follow suit with every other week. So what happened this week, bud? What's going on? Tell us how that London game went.
Just touchdown in London town.
London.
Yeah, we got 2 touchdowns in London town.
London.
We ended up going against Minnesota Vikings, and I predicted a win, and we lost 28-25 with a field goal with 24 seconds to go. There was lots of highs and lows in the game. Dalton, we started Dalton instead of Winston, and getting some fresh air on the field. And he did,
Ninja?
Yeah. He did pretty good. 20 of 28 passes for 236 yards. The one thing, there's so many good moments, but the one thing that I did notice is penalties. We had 10 penalties that costed us 102 yards. So that, I think, really, really, I don't know what to say, is it really hurt us in the end compared to the Vikings. They only had 5 penalties with only 35 yards costed. We had 2 touchdowns, one from Olave in the second quarter and Taysom Hill in the fourth quarter. Will Lutz, I do have to say, he got his career high field goal with 60 yards. And then we tried to attempt a 61-year.
Sorry about that.
Let's go one more.
Yeah, can you tell me how that field goal went? I want you to explain, reenact it for us. Can you draw us a picture?
Okay, if this is this,
okay,
and this is that, it was thunk, thunk. Literally quantum physics. Quantum physics doesn't have this guy. I was really, I was sad. I was hoping for him, just from the highs of his other career, long goal. So, yeah, it was killer. And then 24 seconds left, they got the field goal. So I was I think we were relying a little heavy on our rushing game. Murray was killing it. It was pretty good for a rushing player, and considering he's relieving Kamara. So, and then also too, I'd like to touch down on the Vikings. They had 5 field goals, which added up to 15 points for their score. So good job to their kicker. I do not like him.
Fair.
Yeah,
that's tough. That was really tough, honestly, because I'll tell you flat out, I was watching the game in the morning, and I thought it was in. I want to be honest with you. I was watching, I'm like, that's in. That's it. That's it.
I slept on my couch to get up so early in the morning, and this is what they do to me. But that's okay. I think that, there was a lot of 2 things: penalties and fumbles, interceptions. We're getting killed by that. So spoiler for coming up later on in the show, what I'm going to talk about. But that was the game. Sad, really, truly sad. I really wanted to win this one. So
fair.
I can dig it. Dig it.
Mr. Spencer.
Yeah.
Keep pounding. Keep pounding.
Keep pounding. Oh, I got
pounding the bread. Is he kneading it? What's he doing?
We got to check our heart, man. We got to check our heart, see if it's still pounding, see if it's still beating right now. We are struggling. We are 1-3. Another loss. They're calling for Baker's head. They're calling for our coach Rule his head. Apparently, the organization him are on, ultimatum. Look, this is a tale of two halves. The first half, we actually played good. We came out of the first half at halftime. We're up 10-3. Our defense was bend but don't break. We were shutting them down. Kyler Murray wasn't able to get anything really done, and we were making sure that he was staying out of the end zone. That second half, even through the third quarter, it's 10-10. But Baker, it's just the worst possible times he messes up. We have a 3rd and 13 where we have a play set up that potentially is wide open, and he fumbles a snap. You know what I mean? Then in another situation where he throws a pick, and you're just like, oh my goodness. And you try to, and look, I like Baker. I try to give him the benefit of the doubt, but he just, I'm just like, did I think he was better than what he was? Like, this guy it's just like he struggles at times. But the other thing is, what I've told you guys each time I've come on here, the number one thing you want to do if you're struggling as a quarterback, you go to your great running back. Yeah. Christian McCaffrey wasn't getting the love. When he finally did get in the attention late in the game, he got the touchdown. He brought it together. But early in the game, he wasn't getting love. And I'm going to tell you something. When your star running back, healthy, mind you, star running back, only gets 27 yards on 8 carries, there's a problem there. Ladies and gentlemen, like there's something that's going on. At the end of the day, man, we were beat on all facets. They beat us on first downs. We only had 2 of 10 on third downs. We only had 40 total yards rushing. We're not playing successful football, man. Like I don't know what to tell you. I mean, we're struggling. Arizona, in my opinion, they did what they needed to do to win. But I mean, Kyler had his game, 2 passing touchdowns and a rushing touchdown. But at the same time, we could have won that game. We were in control of that game in several parts. And like I said, going into the fourth, we were tied up. At this point, man, 1-3, looking up at the rest of you guys. You guys even got to win, Kyle. You know what I mean? We're
saving that one to last. So we're gonna save that to last. Okay, you continue on. We're not there yet.
So, and this is where I'm gonna look at the glass half full. Saints. Like our friend Nicole said, Saints with the double doink. I definitely was holding my breath. And Kat is a huge Vikings fan, so she loves Kirk Cousins. So she was like, "Oh, we won!" And I was like, "Okay, good." And then the Buccaneers, they took that L. So all right, we did okay. So we might have lost, but we're not falling too far down behind everybody. But another L. This team, my other team, everybody's taking L's. I just.
It's funny. We'll touch on the Commanders in a bit too. Actually,
my goodness,
we got something about them too. I guess since we don't have a Buccaneers fan in here yet, So I don't know. You guys watch that Bucs game?
It's all highlights. That's all highlights.
The highlights,
yeah.
So I guess to get the cliff notes for anybody that didn't really watch the Bucs game, they were behind from the start. It was bad. Their first play was a turnover. So that kind of just set the mood for the game. And I don't know if it's necessarily a sake of the Buccaneers completely playing bad. I think it's more so that Casey came prepared. I think is more so what the actual result is. There's a lot of talk about Patrick Mahomes being compared to Tom Brady, and with him, how young he is in his career and what he's done already. It's phenomenal. Like Patrick Mahomes definitely can already see, like you can see that he has that football IQ that's already developing, right? And with the fact that he has already a pretty, I would say personally, not the best wide receiving corp, especially with Tyreek Hill leaving, with the fact that he has that connection with Travis Kelce, with his tight end, right? I think is a very big representation of what Tom Brady wished he still had with Gronkowski, right? So, it's a lot to be said, especially when the Bucs, in my opinion, and I'll give credit where credit's due, They are the scariest defense in the league right now. I'm going to be blunt about it, but last game, they showed that they have weaknesses. Yep. Last week, they showed that they can be scored on and be scored on for more than 13 points. So there is something to be said about that. So
was it 41, like 31?
Yeah,
Mhm.
41-31.
Mhm.
And I'm not going to go into too much as to why there was a higher scoring game because I'm not going to spoil it for later.
Mhm.
But certain people came in clutch. The only thing I have to say about the Bucks too is they had a healthy wide receiving corp that game. They had Mike Evans. They had Chris Godwin. They had Julio Jones. And of course, Mike Evans, right? So what's your excuse then at that point? You're calling in all these wide receivers, right? And no disrespect to Mike Evans. He's an absolute stud. Chris Godwin too, right? But regardless, it wasn't that's not a championship team right now. I'm not saying that they're not going to go to the NFC Championship because Tom Brady has, proved against the odds many, many, many times, obviously, right? So is this maybe just more so of a healthy team and trying to find the chemistry that it still needs to develop? Maybe that's what it is. I'm not entirely sure. But you know what? Honestly, not even just going with the NFC South. The NFC is wide open.
Mm-hmm.
The only team that I can confidently say scares me is the Philadelphia Eagles. They are absolutely terrifying right now.
Yep.
I'm not a fan, and I'll fully admit it. They're firing in all cylinders, man. They're the Rams of last year. So yeah. Let's talk about Atlanta.
Oh my goodness.
We want this out. We want it.
Man.
We want it now. Okay? We want it.
Mm-mm.
You know what?
Oh my goodness.
I am thrilled. I am absolutely thrilled. And
what is this?
Hear me out. You know what? In all fairness, a lot of people had Atlanta finishing at 32. Like people had Atlanta taking the first overall pick. And I'm not going to lie to you. I absolutely was leaning towards that, where Atlanta was going to finish at the bottom of the division and they were going to continue on with the rebuild. And the one thing that I can say that Atlanta is doing very well right now is they are working with what they have, and they are doing it very, very well. And that's huge. We have a very, very young team. We have a defense that's still developing under Dean Pease, and they're doing what they can. Of course, they could be doing better, 100%. But everybody had the Falcons losing this game against the Browns. The Browns, number one in rushing, going to that game with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, huge. They're absolutely scary. And regardless, Jacoby Brissett playing like a number one quarterback right now. Like he's doing phenomenal with the Browns. So going into that game, I was nervous. I wasn't really entirely sure what was going to happen, but we pull it off. We won, and we found the holes in that team. We stopped the run game, and we showed them what run game we had, which was quite shocking, to be honest with you. And again, Cordarrelle Patterson balled out again, even with an injury that he's working through.
How are you feeling about that, though? That makes me feel bad because I was really rooting for him. I know you were hyped about him, man.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah, and you know what? It is a really tough loss, honestly. He is currently my favorite player on the team. He's doing absolutely amazing. And players get injured, unfortunately. That's just the reality of it. Our running back situation, it hasn't been the best, and that's no surprise to anybody else. Cordarrelle Patterson was that gap, and he was, competing at an elite level. He's a top 5 running back right now in the league, and that's phenomenal to say, like in terms of rushing yards. So yeah, it's going to hurt. It's definitely going to hurt. Another thing that I noticed in the game is just the fact that we did run the ball a lot, which was very odd. So I think that in order for us to move forward and get more W's and hopefully continue on with this win streak and maybe potentially get first place in the division next week, the passing game has started to get a lot better. So no, it was great. It was awesome. And I'm loving life. The fact
Don't
that
get too comfortable up there.
No.
Exactly.
You know what? I'll be humble. You know what I mean? If we get more than 4 wins this season, which we were projected to get, I'm all for it. You know what I mean? If we're going against what the book that was written for us for the season to go, I'm all for it. And I know we're still part of a rebuild, but I'm still liking with what I'm seeing, right? They're moving in the right direction, and that's all you can really ask for any team you support, right? So yeah, I guess with that being said, I'm just going to transition. Like, the week 4, we've had all these, we've had 4 weeks now.
Mm.
Our division is wide open.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely wide open.
Is it?
I think so.
I'm not used to this position of the 1 and 3. I don't think. I was looking at the last what was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years of last division champs, and out of those 5, 4 times we were. I don't even see Falcons in here in the last 5 years, so good for you. That's why I see you riding high. But for me, I'm just uncomfortable in this situation. I'm not used to it. It feels weird. But I mean, I'm liking the competition in our division now, with you guys and the Panthers and the Bucks. So I think our division is getting a little bit more competitive, I think. And it's really coming down to those divisional games against each other. I feel like the rivalry is going to build for sure. We're not done.
Like, I'm just happy we're not in the basement. We're right over the Saints.
Are you so do you think Tom is gonna break any more tablets?
Maybe he might.
He is frustrated. Saints 3-0. He is frustrated. Saints 3-0. Brady. Yeah, you get the idea. He is
We're saying.
Well, will he break any more tablets? That's the real question.
That is the real question.
I think at least 2 more.
At least 2 more?
Yes, they need to.
Well, he plays the Saints twice, right?
I'm about to say, what's the over under? Like, is it maybe a little over that? I'm gonna go over.
The Saints just get to him. Just be, him and Drew. They're bros.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's fair.
No,
that's fair. I agree with you, Nicole. Honestly, like, I love the competition. I like a wide open division. Don't get me wrong. I love it when my team wins, as does any, fan, right? When their team wins, obviously, right? But I feel like we're this year's or even last year's NFC West. Like, it's pretty wide open. Actually, fun fact, I don't know if you guys know, but the NFC West right now, every team in that division is 2-2.
Yeah.
Every team. Which is insane, right?
Wow.
Sure, you may be in the basement, Nicole, with 1 and 3, but like anything could happen. Like a week like this, for example, for the Falcons is crucial, right? You were behind, right? You were 1 and 2 going into this week, right? And then thankfully, all of your subdivision teams, they lost, and that puts you at least a little bit in the race, right?
I mean, I'm still sour with the last 3 weeks because we had to play you guys, and those are divisional games right off the bat. Like, we're giving it to you.
You had a hard, Like, that's a good point.
You know what? I should look it up because I'm just like, man, who else in this division is going through this with all of their, like, one after the next? And so that's what I mean is I'm a little bit sour just because, like, we're giving it to you instead of at least someone else, like Green Bay. Sure.
Yeah. Very true. Well, listen. You at least you don't have the murderer's row that we have. We get to next go to play San Francisco. We've seen that defense and what that team is. Then the defending Super Bowl champions who have been struggling in the Rams. They have been struggling. So maybe we can do it. But the way we're playing, I'm not sure. And then we come back and talk about the 2 divisional games. We got to come back, play Tampa, play this guy over here, Atlanta. You know what I mean? So I'm not looking to, I'm not too excited about those next 4 games. You know what I mean? So I'm just sitting down here like, all right.
You know what though?
Like the storm.
So what Johnny Dean said though, too, like actually a couple of his comments, all 3 of his comments. Panthers really do just need a quarterback. In all fairness, right?
I think that's where they're gonna go.
But
too.
I'm gonna add on to that though, because I don't think they just need a quarterback. I think they also need a new head coach. I think those have to pair together.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Like, because the thing is in all reality, like for the most part, when a head coach comes in, they kind of do want their own quarterback for the most part. And the Panthers are very much in that situation where if, especially with the next draft being a very quarterback heavy and like a quality quarterback heavy draft, you tie in a new head coach with a brand new QB. Sure, maybe let him sit under Baker Mayfield for a year, maybe potentially. Look what's gonna happen. That'll be even scarier. And you know what, Nicole, the same thing minus the coach is probably gonna happen for the Saints too. Reality. So I think in our division especially, don't be surprised if it's a quarterback frenzy going into the next draft. I wouldn't actually be shocked if every team goes and drafts a new quarterback in the next draft in the NFC South. Would not be even the slightest bit shocked. Especially with Tom Brady's last year, Jameis Winston uncertainty, Marcus Mariota's decline, but I'm not going to spoil that. And then also Baker Mayfield. You cannot tell me right now, maybe minus Desmond Ridder, who could ball out, which is going to happen soon. That what division is wide open for quarterbacks. So it's something to be said. So
for sure.
Yeah,
my Drew Brees. I felt so spoiled.
Well, look at Sean. You guys have one
good quarterback, right? Well, what's a good quarterback? Like, I don't know what a good quarterback is. It's been a while. All right.
Listen, Commander Person. Okay, he's still working out the Kings. Okay?
Oh my goodness! Don't do this, Kyle. Don't do this. You got your win. Don't do this to me right now. All right. It's already going to be a long week. All right.
Oh God. Well, there was some highlights. There was some studs. There was some duds. Right. So I guess I'll change it up. I'll go first for once. I guess a stud for the Falcons is going to be definitely Tyler Algier. Tyler Algier, this is his first season out of BYU, drafted. Thought he was going to sit. I believe he was a 5th round pick as well. And he produced nicely in that game. He was a really good pairing with Cordarrelle Patterson and Caleb Huntley in that game. He had 10 carries with 84 rushing yards. And he's a strong guy too. He's not somebody that's, just very he's mobile, absolutely, but he's got stockiness to it. So he can definitely push through the defense. So that's awesome. So, I got to give him a shout out. He definitely was there when we needed him to be there. And it's smart. I guess kind of like my stud would honestly be probably Arthur Smith, because there was a lot of good play calling in that game. So I can say that, against a very good Browns offense and a very good Browns defense, the running game wasn't bad, especially the secondary running game. So that's definitely a plus. So I'm happy about that. I hope that continues.
I like it.
Thank you. Cool. You want to go? Are you just sanitizing your hands, or I want to know. You can.
I'm sorry. I'm putting some extra virgin olive oil on here.
I love it.
Yes, yeah. If you couldn't tell, he's my star and stud of the week. He's great. I do think that he's entitled for becoming Rookie of the Month. He's on par. He's had 4 catches for 67 yards, and then he had the touchdown there. So I really liked him. I love how fast he is, and yeah, he can speed up, slow down with those sweet ankles that it just puts the defense off his route, that I think he can get some extra space in between to get those catches. So
is he seasoning the pan? Is that what he's doing? Is he getting ready to season it up? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Is he drizzling the defense? You let me know.
Oh yeah. He's making it work. I love him.
Oh, you allow him?
Yes.
But the real question is his name Christopher? Is it Christopher?
Olave. Last name. One word. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, JD's right. Olave and London are going to be studs. There's no question about that. They're definitely going to be competing for that wide receiving top spot in the NFC South.
I hope we do get to keep him. I'm.
Of course you will. You're not going to let him walk. That'd be stupid.
No.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Mr.
So,
Spencer.
Hey, in Carolina, I know I talked about why this guy only get 8 carries for 27 yards, but he still got his hands on the ball that last drive where they're driving down to kind of try to come back in the game. He was the one that caught the catch over the linebacker. So Christian McCaffrey got 9 catches, 81 yards, and a touchdown to go along with his 27 rushing yards, over 100 scrimmage yards again. Chris, he's our guy. He's our lone bright spot. That defense is solid. I'm telling you, that defense is bend but don't break, but our offense is putting them in bad situations. But my guy, C-Mac, doing his thing.
Yes.
Yeah, honestly,
doing his
you
thing.
guys, defense is really scary actually
Yeah,
for
it
like
is.
the Panthers and the Bucks.
Our
Like
D is
it's
good.
definitely a battle of will. Like I would 100% say if you're gonna focus on one area, don't focus on your defense. Your defenses are strong. Like they're good. They're good.
Oh, absolutely.
They solid.
Absolutely.
Now my duds. I'm pumped for this one. Oh,
Let's get
kitty. Look at the Panther. Ladies and gentlemen, we did not plan this. We have a Carolina Panther.
Yeah, right.
Live.
Hold on, give it to you.
Live.
Give me the Panther. Come on.
He heard the call.
My dud. Now this one's a good one. So as much as I talked about how we had a very strong running game for the Atlanta Falcons, why were we running against a defense that good? So my dud is Marcus Mariota, and we're gonna talk about Marcus Mariota.
My gosh.
So, yeah, Marcus Mariota. So the pass game going into week 4 was really questionable, especially with the talent up front like London and Kyle Pitts. So why aren't they being utilized? And there was questions about it, especially in the first couple of weeks. But you're going into week 4. London has proven that he can catch the ball. Pitts is good, in the interior too, so he can catch. So what's going on, right? It was questioning for sure if it was going to be Arthur Smith. That's the issue or not. But now I'm starting to question Marcus Mariota's his passing game. He had 1 interception, 5 carries, and only 139 passing yards. So with that being said, I think, and I'm going to go on a limb and say, I think it's Desmond Ridder time. And I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a spoiler, but I think he's going to even possibly show up in the Bucs game. I wouldn't even be shocked, because the only way that that's going to happen, that we have any chance really against the Buccaneers, is number one, for the defense to show up and for us to have a passing game. Because with CP out right now, it's not going to work and it's not going to gel. So I think we're going to see potentially Desmond Ridder in the next game. Might be, Mitch Trubisky might have followed suit, and he might, unfortunately, have pressured a lot of head coaches to make that kind of turnover now. But Marcus Mariota, he's not, like, he was never going to be the number 1 guy regardless. He was always going to be a bridge quarterback, but I think his time might be coming a lot sooner than a lot of people realize. So that's my dad. Welcome, Ben.
Hey, how's it going?
What's going on,
How's
man?
it going?
Hey, Sean, how you doing, buddy?
Doing well. I'm still here. Don't worry.
Are you representing the Panthers?
I am representing the Panthers. So disregard the picture in the video.
So you downgraded even more.
Relax. The Tar Heels fan.
It's like, what is it? Come on, man. Right. Tar Heel season's coming. Let's go. Good.
Mayfield wins. What's the difference?
Why don't you catch us up, Ben? So basically, we're not that far in. How did the Bucs do? Who were the stars and who were your duds?
Oh man, it just wasn't a good game all around. I mean, offensively, we put up the most points of the year in a game, but we also gave up the most points. So, if you saw the game, I mean, the opening kickoff of Rashad White fumbled it. I mean, that really set the tone. Things like that can really set the tone for a game. And you can't do that against the Chiefs, because Mahomes will just, carve you up and just score on you real quick. And that's what they did. And they just never let their foot off the gas pedal. They just went full blown, and we just couldn't match them. I mean, it was just one of those games where it just seemed like Andy Reid knew what play to call every possession, and they ran all over us. I mean, they had 189 yards rushing on us. That's the most we've given up, I believe, in the last 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And not only was it Clyde Edwards-Helaire, but it was also Isaiah. I forget his last name.
Pacheco.
Pacheco. There.
That guy balled out. I honestly didn't hear his name until last night, but that guy's a stud, man. My God.
Well, if you had him on your fantasy team somewhere in the 12th or 13th round, you did pretty damn good. But and then as far as the stars go, Mike Evans. I mean, he had 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
He was great. I mean, he was so desperately needed. I mean, missing the Packers game killed us because we only gave up 14 points, but we only scored 12 points.
I'll be honest with you. That's the only person, like, even going into next week, that I'm worried about is Mike Evans. I'm not worried about Julio. I'm not worried about anybody else. Maybe Chris Godwin, but even healthy. But Mike Evans, he's consistent and he's scary. He's a great route runner.
Absolutely. I mean, and he's a great blocker too in the field, open field. So I mean, we needed that, and we didn't have it against the Packers. So as far as the duds, I mean, I gotta say, man, our running game, it was just not. Fournette was non-existent. With Rashad White, I mean, I'm not going to pick on him too much. He's a rookie. That fumble, and then he just couldn't get anything going. You got to have balance on offense. I don't care who your quarterback is. Tom Brady cannot be throwing the ball 50-plus times.
No, that's true.
Especially because we were behind most of the game as well. So, and he got hit real hard on that safety blitz. Did you see that one where?
Oh, God.
I mean, he just didn't see it coming.
I worry about that. That's the one thing that I worry about going into this year for the Buccaneers is the fact that Tom Brady has one more year left on his contract. If he does not sign is the question, but it does looking like he is probably going to retire this year.
Yeah, and then the divorce comes out today. Like they're already
I don't want him to go out and get hurt. Like I don't want him to end his career like Drew Brees. As much as I have my own view of the Saints, I don't want that to be his final chapter.
Well, what hurt us, guys, is Ryan Jensen getting hurt in training camp. Our center.
Oh, Jensen.
That was a devastating blow. I mean, now you got to replace an all-pro, center. And
that's key.
Marpet retired, so you got to replace him as well. We got Shaq Mason in a trade from New England. He's done pretty good so far, but then Donovan goes out for a couple games with the elbow injury. When we played the Saints, he injured his elbow. So, I mean, it's just a makeshift offensive line, and you can't have that when you have a 45-year-old veteran quarterback in Tom Brady. It just makes things a lot tougher.
Yeah, 100%. No, you definitely nailed that on the head. Sean, who were your duds for the Panthers this week?
Just as quickly as I said, you need to have Christian McCaffrey because he will make any struggling quarterback look better. You can't make what's crappy already look any better than that. You could try to dress it up. Baker Mayfield just is struggling. One of the interceptions was actually tipped at the line, so it wasn't his fault. The other was he just all the way back through college, and I know he won the Heisman. He's always just looked like sometimes he's really great, and he's like, I want that guy. He's repping his stuff and grabbing it and getting all into people's faces. But then there's other times where he's just like, dude, are you kidding me, man? Like, and so in this game, I really felt like when they started getting behind, in the first half, they were shut. Their defense was shutting them down. So Baker wasn't affecting them as much. But once they continued to had poor field position and the defense is just Baker is just not helping out and it's struggling for me. And that's my dud for this week. That's where it stands for me. I'm one of the ones that wanted to say it's not his fault for what happened in Cleveland, but at the same time, I'm still kind of like, you got to show me something. You're getting the opportunity. You got a good defense. Come on.
I'm sorry to interrupt real quick. Whoever thought he was going to be a big upgrade is sadly mistaken. He's not. Cleveland, their running game is still great. That's what made Baker so good was the running game, their offensive line. Mm-hmm. That's what made him good.
So I'm going to counter this because I'm not completely sold yet on the Baker Mayfield Express out of Carolina. So let me just ask a round question then quickly. How much does head coaching factor into, I guess, your plays?
I can give you that. It's actually a lot into it.
Yeah. So let's just dive into that. Okay. So Baker Mayfield, he's in Cleveland, right? Like a complete rebuild, pretty much, minus your running game. Mm-hmm. So you can only be judged on that so much, right? Then you go into Carolina, where Matt Rule has been declining over the years. Like, let's not even try and sugarcoat that. We're going to call crap. Okay. So what are you supposed to do? You're going from one crap situation to another crap situation, expecting to be the ultimate fix. It's not really fair, in my opinion. Like, I at the very least think that there should be another head coach in Carolina to see how he's going to maybe shape Baker Mayfield. Because if we're saying that, then we're saying the same thing about Jameis Winston. Yeah. In all fairness.
No. I think look, Baker helped try to turn them around in Cleveland. He took this team to the playoffs after, before they had him, he's 2-32. You know what I mean? He could get it done, and we see his peak, but he has to have supporting cast. He has to have he had a 2 running back system over there, and he had a solid defense. Chris McCaffrey's healthy over here. He has DJ Moore. He has Robbie Anderson is no slouch. I've slept on him for a while. He's no slouch. You can get the job done, but Baker, when it comes down to it, Baker struggles in the worst possible times. He's a more mobile Kirk Cousins. He's gonna cost you the game at some point, and then he's gonna just look like and walk off the field, messing with me.
That's fair. That is fair. Nicole, I don't think we heard your dad, did we?
Well, actually, it's funny you speak about Duds and how much on the head coach and stuff, because I actually put down here, and I don't care if he's not a player, but I put Dennis Allen as the head coach of the Saints.
That's fine. I've
as
done
a
it.
dud.
Hey.
I feel like we're right in the same kind of with the Panthers. A lot of people, I've heard a lot of discussion with the Saints fans this week about, Dennis Allen and his coaching. Mind you, we were just coming off of Sean Payton, and the way he sees the game, the way he knows the guys on the field. I just felt like there was some penalties that did happen that I would have liked maybe the head coach to take charge and try a challenge, because I definitely saw that there was I think there was an interference, or that it was a pass interference where it really costed us quite a bit of yards. And you could see on the replay that it was completely not a penalty, I think. But I was just like, I feel like Sean Payton might have challenged that, or would have seen and believed maybe in knowing his players, in seeing it on the field, and maybe it would have challenged that. I feel there's no bite from Dennis Allen yet. I feel like he's still not as experienced. What can I say? I'm missing Drew Brees and Sean Payton. And it's also too, it goes like that quarterback and the head coach, and how well those dynamics and how well they play off of knowing each other, trusting each other. Trust is a huge factor, I think. Yep. So yeah, that's my dud. Sorry, Alan. Alan. Yeah.
I mean, you could put on Sean Payton's clothes. You could put on his deodorant. You could put on his
well.
But that doesn't mean you're going to be like Sean Payton.
Right.
Did someone do that in a movie recently?
Well, Kevin J. He does it better than Dennis Allen.
Right. Can we get him? Where is he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we rambled on long enough. Now, how about an ad from one of our sponsors?
See?
Squid Rip Cards, where he has all your card needs, your favorite players, your favorite teams. Live multiple times in the week on Squid Rips, TikTok, and Snapchat. I believe Snapchat too. No Snapchat. Yep. See, there you go. So check them out and reach out. So our next one. So be humble. I love this. So here in the NFC South takeover, we like to give gratitude where gratitude is due. So my be humble was Tom Brady this week. And Tom Brady is the only reason that game was as close as it was at the end. 100%. Where your offense isn't firing on all cylinders. You're still connecting with Mike Evans. But Tom Brady is the only quarterback that I really believe in this league that once he is down, he is not out until that final second strikes. So, you know, I give all the credit to Tom Brady this week, you know, with what he had going into that game, with the hype behind, you know, KC playing, you know, Tom Brady again, right? You know, that's all you can really do. I know me and Ben talked earlier where we were saying that, you know, KC was going to lose, but no, I think Patrick Mahomes was going out with a vendetta. I think it's really hard to kind of look away from that, especially with the Bucs team that what we had this year. So that's my Be Humble this week.
I like that.
Ben, I'll give it to you.
Oh, me? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to be humble with the Atlanta Falcons defense. They finally stepped up, especially in the second half. They were able to just really shut down, what's his name for the Browns, the quarterback, Brissett?
Yep.
Brissett. Jacoby.
Yeah,
Jacoby.
Yes. And they were able to kind of hold up to Hunt and Chubb. You know, yep. Chubb did have a good game, but in the second half, they were able to tighten up and lock everything down. I thought Atlanta's defense was going to be really bad again this year.
Oh, 100%.
But now I got to be humble, man. The Dean Pease, you know, he's starting to get that defense going. And I got to tell you, we're playing your defense this weekend. We got to be ready.
Defenses.
We got to be ready because this team stays in games. No matter how good or bad they are, they stay in games. So we got to play a full 60 minutes.
It's going to be a good game. It will be.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Nicholi.
Well, I'm all about the love right now, and I'm going to be humble to the Panthers, and I'm in love with Louva.
Louva.
Yes.
He's pretty good, actually.
Yeah, so his name's Frankie, and he's number 49, and he had his first career interception and touchdown against Arizona. So I was quite pleasantly surprised whenever the defense becomes unoffensive, you know, for a little bit. But yeah, he last season he entered as a backup linebacker and a core special teamer, and he ended up playing 16 games with 4 starts, but overall really good. He has 43 tackles. He forced a fumble. He had 3 fumble recoveries, and he even blocked a punt. So I think that guy is on his toes and ready to spring into action for sure. So
is he ready to pounce? Is that what he's looking to do?
Let's go, the Panther.
Yeah.
What did they do? Bang that thing before the game? Like,
doesn't work. Hasn't been working recently, but it's all right. We don't keep pounding. We're gonna be all right. Yo, my be humble. I gotta give love to the Ginger Ninja, Mr. Andy Dalton. 20 of 28, 236 yards and a touchdown, averaged over 8 yards a play. Okay, only got sacked twice for only under 10 yards. So that means even when he was going down, he still tried to scramble out of there and not take too much of a loss. Coming in this situation, we already know about Brissett. I like this guy because he has bounced around, especially in the last 3 years. But a lot of the people, you know, a lot of the people that are maybe just coming into football and they don't remember, 4 or 5 years ago, him and AJ Green in Cincinnati were every year, you know, Pro Bowlers dominating the league. So I'm glad he's getting the opportunity. He was in Chicago, Dallas. Where else did he go? He bounced around.
Was he in Baltimore? Was Brissett in Baltimore?
Who, Dalton? Or
No.
Yeah, Brissett did. Yeah.
No, I think it was Miami. He was Miami last year.
Oh, okay.
And maybe in the Colts too for a while. So yeah, but Andy Dalton, man, I'm so glad that he's getting this opportunity. And it's kind of funny because over the last couple of years, New Orleans is the land of the backup quarterback. I mean, Teddy Two Gloves did great things for him. We know what Taysom comes in and does, you know. I mean, so hey, that's the place I want to go if I'm backup. Andy Dalton, man, I hope he can parlay this into maybe another contract somewhere. Maybe some team need quarterbacks. My other team, Washington.
Does
Wait. I thought it was Sam Howell time.
No. I don't want him. I don't want to do that to him. I don't want. No, I'm not going to allow them to throw him out there to wolves and ruin his career like that.
He might. Honestly, he might actually play soon.
Yeah. Well, they want Heineke. This is an NFC South show. We're not talking about Washington, guys. I cannot live through this misery
Matt
anymore.
Corral. I'm thinking Matt Corral. That's my bad. Matt Corral. Yeah,
But
Matt Corral could easily start.
Yeah, well, if he's, but is he out? I think he's out for the year.
Oh, is he?
He got hurt.
Oh yeah, he injured his knee.
That's right. That would make sense why they're not playing him then yet.
Exactly. and then the other guy you have is Darnold, and I don't think he's playing right now. So then the next option would be PJ Walker, who actually, incidentally, played last year against the Cardinals and beat them. So,
fun fact.
Had history on his side, so we'll see.
Oh.
But yeah, Andy Dalton, that's my guy.
Okay, I love it. So yeah, that's the studs and duds for the week. That's awesome. So our next segment, the funnest one, the more you know segment, where we like to educate our fans and have a little fun. Discoveries. Ben's probably like, I don't know what I got myself into. I didn't prep for this. Like, yeah, discoveries. So I have a video actually to show for my discovery, and then I'm going to explain it. So let's tune into this.
Okay.
And boom. Right there. So to kind of touch base on what we're seeing right now. So the concussion protocol was actually started after this play. It was a frightening helmet-to-helmet hit involving Cleveland Brown QB Colt McCoy in 2011 against Pittsburgh Steelers James Harrison, who laid out the hit. Colt McCoy did not come back to this game, and in such, the concussion protocol was initiated. So, fun fact. If everybody was wondering, especially with all of the stuff that's been happening with Tua, this play alone is what it did. So, from right here, the concussion protocol has been revisited a couple of times now. It keeps on getting updated and it keeps on getting revisited as it should, considering the fact that, a player didn't return to the game and it could have been a lot worse. So for all of you that didn't know, that is where it started.
Nice.
Wow. I can dig it.
Yep. Sweet. So that is my discovery. Would anybody like to go next?
I can go next. You go ahead.
Well, no, I was going to say, what is this like? Are we just discovering anything we've seen this week?
Yeah, in football. Yep. Yeah. Anything
new.
Anything new. Anything you might have not known. People might not have known. It's just the more you know segment, Ben. That's what we are.
So yeah, I'll go.
Okay.
I'll go with something that Johnny Dean was saying earlier. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, on CMC. I said, I think the team has CC on a pitch count. I did not know up until just recently that they do that just like baseball, where they only allow them to play a certain number of plays and to kind of limit injury. I've seen it happen a lot in Washington because a lot of our guys have either hamstring or groin injuries where they only get them in every couple plays. So I didn't know that this was something that they did in the NFL where they put guys on pitch counts.
Really? I never knew that.
Yeah. So that's pretty great. So, hey, the more you know.
Yeah. Beauty.
Mine is about kickers. Since, Lutz ended up kicking his career high, I was just really left me pondering, being like, what is the longest, kick? So I found out that I guess in 2021, Justin Tucker from the Baltimore Ravens kicked 66 yards for the longest field goal in NFL history against the Lions.
Yep.
There was also one that was kind of funny to note that again, ahead of the Browns preseason finale against Chicago Bears, their fourth round pick knocked a 70-yard field goal through the upright with room to spare. So
Oh, wow.
These guys and their kicks, I'm telling you, it's pretty crazy. But there's not very many people. There's a total of 5 62-yard kicks that have been made in NFL history.
Oh, wow.
So Brett Maher has 2 of them. He also made a 63-yard kick in his career. And most recently, Matt Prater hit a 62-yard field goal in week 2 in the 2021 season.
Oh, Prater did that? Wow. I didn't know that.
I like that.
Yeah. So the more you know, kickers.
Kickers.
They kick ass. Sorry.
Good save. Good save. I love it. Tread the line, Nicole. Just tread it. Spin it. Leave it. I love it. Ben, you got anything for us?
Man, I am so unprepared for this one, but I'm just going off the top of my head here. I discovered that if you're going to do a gender reveal, do not do it on the football field.
No.
That's Bobby Wagner. Bobby Wagner put that to rest. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Fair,
do not do a gender because the baby mama wants the husband to be around, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
Him
Oh,
all
boy.
laid up and, especially if
Is
you get
that what
hit
that
by
was all
Bobby.
about? That was
Yeah.
a gender reveal?
Yeah,
Wow.
because I guess
Oh,
it
gosh.
came out pink when he
Yeah.
hit.
Oh,
that
I thought he
guy.
just had like a smoke bomb and he was running with it. I didn't know it was a
I
This
read
makes
up
so
on
much
it.
more sense now.
Yeah, I read up on it. It was a gender reveal
Oh
thing that this
my
streaker
god.
was doing. So the more you know.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Perfect.
Wow, yeah, like I'm gonna tell you right now, I learned a lot today. So that's awesome. So here at Let's Talk Football, we have many shows. Even most recently, we're having the roundtable after this. So let's check out some shows that we have here. It's all done. That sucks. So many shows for Let's Talk Football, and we do have a guest, as some of you might now know, with Mr. Ben Cornett. Ben Cornett, where can we find you, sir?
Oh, yes, sir. You can find me at NFL Edition on Bucks Report every Thursday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Hawaiian. I don't know the time zone for Japan or anything, but yeah.
I need you to give me that information.
So
Right.
we just do a show about the NFL. It's kind of like a frat house, we just all joke around, have fun, and we just talk about everything going on in the NFL, including the Thursday night football game that's on during the time we're on. So NFL Edition, Bucks Report, we're on YouTube, and we're gonna be back on Facebook this week, I believe. Yeah. So that's at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific.
Fantastic. And for all you, make sure you give Ben also a follow, a share. We're a community here. We're trying to build something huge. So
watch his lives too, guys. Definitely check out his lives whenever you go on there. I love watching that.
I will do lives. Usually on Friday nights, I'll do them. Just a couple days. Last week I was on with Andrew, so I couldn't do it on Friday night. So I did it Saturday night. So sometimes Saturdays, if not Fridays. So usually around 8 p.m. Pacific. So
nice.
Yeah.
Yes. No, absolutely, Ben. I love tuning in. You're a good guy. You know your stuff.
Appreciate that.
It's always a pleasure watching you. So our last segment, ladies and gentlemen, is Week 5 projections. So I'm gonna let Ben kind of jump into this one first. Ben, what do you see happening next week, and how do you seeing it play out? Who does your team play?
Well, we play a team called the Atlanta Falcons. They're coming to James Stadium this Sunday. It's a 1 p.m. kickoff. This is an interesting game because a few weeks ago, who would have thought both teams would be 2-2 and going after the division in Week 5? Not very many people thought that.
No.
But kudos to Atlanta. They stay in games, as I said earlier. They're a young team, and they're going to fight, man. The Bucks have to match that intensity. If we don't match that intensity with Atlanta, I wouldn't be shocked if Atlanta goes in there and pulls one out because, this is a team now. Unfortunately for you, Kyle, fortunate for us, Cordell Patterson's not going to be in there. So that's a big loss for you guys. That run game's going to hurt a little bit. But that doesn't mean we can't just, take our foot off the gas pedal. We got to take advantage of that, get to the quarterback. So, this is very important that we have balance on offense for this game. My projection is, I'm just going to be honest, I think we're going to pull this one out. Okay. I'd go about 30 to 23. I think this is going to be a higher scoring type game.
Nice. No, that's totally fair. I'll follow suit with that since we're talking about our teams. It is scary. We are playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at their home, which is always a disadvantage whenever you're going against the home team. You always want to be in your home stadium, especially for a divisional rivalry. But like Ben did touch upon, we are without Cordell Patterson, and that's a huge loss. He is our Swiss Army knife. And it's definitely going to hurt to have him out there. But as we saw in the last game, we've seen Caleb Huntley and we've seen Tyler Algier step up, and they are getting some playing time. So it's not going to be just a fresh set of legs on there. So I think this game is going to be a lot closer than people think. And I'm going to say that right now. The spread is 6.5 for Tampa Bay. Now, I think the one thing that the defense has going for them, and it's very clear, and Ben also touched on this, is the chemistry that's going on with this defense. The defense is definitely molding together, and they're understanding how each of them plays, which is huge. We haven't been blown out of any game yet. Maybe this will be the first. It's tough to say, but I think they've been doing a really good job. I also, again, like I said earlier, I wouldn't be shocked if we see Desmond Ridder in this game, potentially even in the second half. So if the passing game isn't up to par and Mariota is going and continuing what he's been doing, don't be shocked if you see a switch out and we get Desmond Ridder some playing time. So I'm going to go with my boys. I actually think Atlanta is going to pull this off, but it's not going to be by any means anything crazy. I think it's a 25-24 Atlanta victory.
That's not crazy. I mean, we haven't won a home game yet. So,
it's going to be a good game. It's going to be an awesome game. I'm pumped for it. So, we'll see. We'll see. Who wants to jump in?
Go ahead.
The bottoms in the league.
Right. I was looking up at you guys, just like,
I guess we're going to be playing Seattle Seahawks at our home. So they're 2-2. We're 3-1. And I'm really, this is do or die time, I think, in my eyes. Whether I could see us pulling up, it's going to be really hard if we're 1-4 going into week 6. And the playoffs is not going to be looking so nicely in our hands. So yeah, it's going to be hard. It's going to be a heated game. That's for sure. And then I think it's depending. Now I see Dalton, and now I'm like, oh yeah, Winston, right? So I'm like, where am I wanting to start? Who do I want to start? And I would like to have him play half and half, but I know that's not very good for anybody's confidence. If you are a quarterback, I think you should try to play the whole entire game for that confidence. If you were to be taken out mid-game, it does a lot to your mentality. And also, too, okay, I looked this up, and it is a really, really sad day for me because I looked over in our penalties. It's going to be our penalties and our turnovers that either make or break it for this game. I looked at our penalty ratio, and we're at -7. We're the worst in the league.
Wow.
Yeah. So we, and this is in 4 games. We've had interceptions. We had 5 fumbles. We've had 6. So we're standing at 11 turnovers in 4 games. And that's how serious it is.
Almost a baker's dozen. See what I did there?
God. Yeah. So I mean, I have to say we have to win. And I think it's going to be 14-24.
4?
We have to win.
Oh, okay.
We're going to win. Or else that's it.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah. I am not as confident as you. Maybe not as urgent as you. I just kind of see the writing on the wall. We got to play San Francisco. They're 2-2. They're coming off a victory against the defending Super Bowl champs. Look, a lot of people aren't sold on Jimmy G. My opinion, when the guy can stay on the field, the guy is a winner in this system. He might not be able to see too many other places, maybe New England because him and Belichick are buddies. But honestly, I kind of feel like in this game, I feel like we're going to take that L. But I think we're going to play better. I think it's going to be like 23-16 maybe, where we're going to play, but we just cannot get over the hump. We get field goals when we should have got touchdowns. Baker's slinging it. He has over 700 yards, having 4 touchdowns, but he also has those 3 interceptions. It's stressful to me. Now knowing that McCaffrey's on a pitch count, it's just kind of like, okay, we're going to have to find other avenues. We know about their offense. Going to have to stop Deebo Samuel, or at least try to. You saw he got them one on Jalen Ramsey and took that one to the house yesterday. So he is unreal when he gets the ball in his hands. So we're going to have to definitely stop him. And obviously Jeff Wilson Jr., that defense is the truth. But we shall see. I do not think that we get the W. And I think this is the game that is the straw that broke the camel's back. Matt Rule is gone. Let's get an interim coach in here and let's see what happens and make the decision. Either we're going to keep trying, or who are these draft picks? Bryce Young, Will Anderson, who are these guys? Get either a quarterback or a solid defender in here, and let's just move on to 2023.
I like that.
I just picture it now. The game Sunday. David Tepper, owner of the Panthers, like, hey, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Here's my number. When you're available in February, call me.
That's funny. Right. I was just gonna say that. Who's not to say that Jimmy G won't end up in the NFC South? Because if anything, I'm just saying the fact that they only signed him to 1 year on a conditional contract, and now he's balling out and showing everybody, oh yeah, no, I'm still playing. I'm not done.
He's still
Who's
here.
not to say that they just give up a bunch of draft picks and be like, here's San Fran, we want Jimmy G. He's our franchise. Let's do what you could never do. Let's give him a ring.
There you go.
Just saying. But everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Ben, thank you so much for being a special guest. I hope I see more of you.
I appreciate coming on. Thank you.
No, it was awesome. And we got the roundtable right after with Mr. Nick Rosario, Delilah, and Mr. Fingers, I believe he's on there as well, right? So, everybody tune in. And we got Ben's show also tonight on Bucks Report with, what is it, Johnny Dean, Alex Loosemore?
Oh, no, it's Thursday night.
Oh, it's Thursday night. So tune into that show.
Yep.
And ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much and have a fantastic Tuesday. Bye-bye.
Peace.
Bye.